Are you looking for that bridge to success? Well, today's guest, Ewa Lederboer, will help you overcome all of the obstacles keeping you from your success. If you want to be an exceptional leader, grow your business, create more success, then learn how to captivate and engage every person and every audience you speak to. Storytelling is the next generation of storytelling. Never be boring again. Learn the strategies to take you from invisible to memorable with the only program designed to help you create the life you truly want. I'm your host, Steve Sapato, the expert in storytelling, and we're here to help you learn how to build your business faster, easier, and make a lot more money. Now, let's get to it with today's guest. Hey, I'm Steve Sapato, and you're listening to Know, Like, and Trust, the podcast where we help you absolutely explode your business and your life. Today, I have the absolute pleasure of being working with Ewa Lederboer, and she's from Dubai. Can you imagine Dubai? That's a long ways away. I bet you it's farther than 20 minutes. And so you have to, oh, I'm in Florida, by the way, folks, in case you didn't know that. So it's one of those deals where she is going to help us learn how to be more successful. Matter of fact, I just titled her new talk. It's called Bridge to Success. So I hope she likes it. Here we go. Ewa, are you there?
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Steve. You are a legend. And thank you very much. Yes, it is a bridge. It's not only a bridge to success, it's a bridge from your mind, whatever your idea is, and whatever idea you would like to share with the people, the bridge to the people you want to share it with. And of course, like every bridge, it has building blocks, right? And one of these building blocks is breath or resonance, right? Energy that you're putting into whatever thought you want to express, and connection, because energy is connection, right? And we were just talking about it, right? That many people have the fear of public speaking, of expressing their ideas. Now, I think that it comes from fear of rejection. And I always say that when you come from the place of service, when you think about what I can do for you, what I have to offer for you, how you can come out of this conversation here knowing something a little bit more, or something, something that I said will open an idea. It will open a path to, like a little light that I'm shining. It's already a gift. So how can I feel rejected, right? If it's all about you.
I think the problem comes with we don't teach people to be comfortable with who they are. Let's start there. We're not comfortable with who we are because we faced so much rejection when we were young. There's a thing here. Maybe you've got it in Europe too, but it's called "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me." And we know
Oh,
that to be the exact opposite. Sticks and stones, you'll break your arm or your leg, you'll heal. But the emotional trauma that people can harm you with, if you're not ready, if you don't have your armor up and people throw those verbal stones at you, it destroys people's egos and sometimes forever. So what I tell people all the time, Ewa, is that public speaking will give you new armor, make you more confident, let you be more visible, become the person that you absolutely want to be. And when we talk about that, I've got a fear of public speaking happens, right? Because their fear of rejection, and that rejection comes because people say, you have to say things a certain way. You have to do it a certain way. There's a thing out there now. People say, well, you got to tell your story, or you got to tell your origin story. And I just rail at that. I'm like, no way. That absolutely is the dumbest thing. I teach, even and I were talking before, I teach storytelling. It's like her bridge to success, which is all about connecting with the audience. Storytelling and origin stories say, hey, I'm going to tell you all about my story and my background, my
yes.
history, and all of my struggles so that you relate to me. No, no, no,
No,
no. Don't bore us for 20 minutes telling all that crap. Instead, involve us in your talk. And the reason people are afraid of being in front of people is because they think they have to memorize something, they have to learn something. If it's truly your story and you've learned how to tell it to involve the audience, you can never lose your place because you can always come back to your story, right?
absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And that I feel, I will be blunt saying that it's absolute cheat to tell your origin story. Now, putting people also in pressure that they have to have the story, and it has to be a dramatic story, like there's this, that you have to go through the valley and, win. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't go through any valleys. I grew up in the house where, I mean, of course, like everybody else, you
I
got
had to drag
your
my
years.
luggage through the airport one time. It was
Oh
horrible.
my God. Oh my God. I can relate. I can relate. It's a biggest cheat, because people are under pressure. And frankly, I was under pressure to find a drama story, to
Yeah.
drag people or to relate to me. And then I said, no, 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 that's enough because I don't have one. I grew up in the house where oratory craft was there. My
Nice.
dad was speaking. My grandma was teaching me how to speak. I was winning competition, speaking competition at the age of 6. And
Wow.
yes, I went through the stage when self-doubt, not enoughness kicked in, but it wasn't about having to find my voice or any of that BS. I'm sorry to be blunt. And people are under pressure. And again, when you, like you said, Steve, that when you say origin story, what does it mean? It means that it's my story. People don't care about my story. People, they want to hear how their story can relate. How can
Absolutely.
they tell their story? How
That
can they share the message, right?
That's exactly right. When I talk to people now, and I'm getting a lot of people who want to be on the podcast, and they're all saying, "I have something to share," and I go, "What's your topic, and how are you monetizing it?" Is what I always ask, because a lot of people say, "Well, I don't want to make any money doing that." Well, then why
Oh,
get on a podcast, right? Why they say, "Well, I just want to help people." Well, you can't help people if you're not reaching people, and one podcast here and there isn't going to reach anyone. So when I talk to people and they go, I want to share my story. You don't understand what I've been through. And the answer is no one cares what you've been through. They only care what they've been through. How can you take your story
absolutely.
and relate it to me? Right? Because you're talking to one individual. When you talk on stage, you're talking to one person, one. You can talk to 500, but you have to make it feel like you're talking to that one person. That's the key,
Absolutely.
right, Eva?
Absolutely, I agree. And talking about the story, it's again that story that I will say is only for the purpose of helping other person, that one person, like you said, in the audience who will say, "Oh, I've been in the situation. If she could go through that, and or he could go through that, I can do it too." That's the only purpose of that story, not to boast about it and not to drag the drama, because it's not about that. We've got enough of not enoughness in the world, and
Enough of
it's
not enoughness. I like it.
yes, it's enough of this. We need to teach people that there is a bridge. There is a way to express the thoughts they have without all this fear or being judged, of being judged, because nobody is judging you. Everybody has their own. First of all, frankly, most of the people couldn't even care.
Yeah.
That's first of all. Second of all, if they care, they will never judge you because they're there already to listen to you, to relate, to hear something new, to learn, to relate, maybe even to help you, right?
And people want you to be
So,
successful. When you're on stage, people want you to be
absolutely.
successful. When I would listen, and we were just talking before we actually started the podcast, one thing I hate is boring presenters. I just hate them. And every time I see a speaker come up, I root for them. I go, I hope they are really good. And when they're not, I'm like, how can that be? How can you, quote unquote, make a living doing something that you're not really good at? We just had a speaker here in we have a Monday morning coffee and we have speakers come in. So like 2 months ago, there was a person here from Edward Jones, and sorry, but she was boring as hell. Okay. And so afterwards I told her, I said, hey, I'm going to drop you an email because I know you want to reach more people. And I don't think you did that today. And so I said, would that be okay? And she said, absolutely. Send me some tips. And I sent her some tips. She wrote me back. I sent her some more tips. She came up this last Monday and just rocked the stage with a great story that involved the audience. And she came up to me and said, hey, I owe you that because you gave me some great tips. I go, that's fabulous. She learned how to be entertaining while also getting her message out, right? Isn't that what people have to
Absolutely.
do?
No, you see, I understand when people don't want to be entertaining or they want to be more calm, like I'm loud and I'm big, right? It's the energy, right? And not necessarily everybody when I'm teaching, I don't teach them to be loud.
No.
It's not about being loud. Confidence is can be very, very quiet, but the story, the message has to be told in a certain way that it will relate. Doesn't matter what it is. If we're talking about numbers, because heck yes, you can tell the story about numbers. You can make the presentation about numbers so entertaining that everybody will be clapping, right?
That's right. That's right. Hey, I'm
It's
I'm going to
it's
interrupt you a second. I'm going to interrupt you a second because as we go through this podcast, it's not that long, and people already know how they relate to you, how they resonate with you, Eva. So do me a favor and tell them how they can contact you. Now, here's what's going to happen though. Eva's going to take that half of the world. I'm taking this half of the world, and we're going to teach all of you folks how to be great presenters. So, Eva, give us your information on how they contact you.
You can contact me through my website, www.speakwithconfidence.me, like Middle East. Speakwithconfidence.me, or even better on WhatsApp, because I love WhatsApp. And it's Dubai number, which is 00971 5257.
You know what's interesting is I had a WhatsApp for a while, and then for whatever reason it quit working. So I went, all right, well I'll delete it off and I'll bring it back on. It's been almost a year, and I can't get back onto WhatsApp to
Oh,
save my.
wow.
So I'm like, because they say you got to have your phone number. Well, so I got a Google phone number and put that in, and they went, that's not a real phone number. I went, oh. So it won't take my personal number, and then it won't take my Google number. So I'm kind of locked out of WhatsApp. So it's
Oh,
kind of
wow.
frustrating. Yeah.
Now, you see, in America, WhatsApp is not really huge, right? It's not like
No.
here. Middle East lives on WhatsApp. That's another,
So do me a
very,
favor, give us that number again, by the way.
it's
Everybody got their ink
zero.
pen out now.
Yes, it's 00971 50 108 5257.
Cool.
And you can also send me an email to hello@speakwithconfidence.me.
Speakwithconfidence.me. Hello at
Me, like, yes,
speakwithconfidence.me. See, and I
yes.
don't think I have ever, well, I guess I saw ME and didn't relate that it was Middle East before. So I'm glad you clarified that for
It's
me.
probably not. It's probably not. I
Oh,
just made it up. It's just
but it
fun,
works
to
for
make
you.
things up. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It works for
Yeah.
me because I am in the Middle East, so I can always say,
So the question,
I'm in Dubai.
yeah. So the question comes back to the people who are listening to this, write to us, send us an email, drop us a text, and say, tell us what your greatest challenge is, what's your greatest fear of speaking. We can help you overcome anything. The thing that changes people's lives is their ability to communicate more effectively. I tell people that
Oh,
every single day. You can go from a shy person to an exuberant personality. You don't have to jump up and down and run around. But I know people that when they took a public speaking course, they were in an abusive relationship. And once they learned how to, quote unquote, be a public speaker, their confidence changed. And they learned that they didn't have to put up with the abusive relationship, whether it was physical, whether it was emotional. And they finally stepped away from that and got confident enough to step out of that challenge. The confidence you get from being a speaker really changes your lives. It changes how people look at you, changes how people respond to you, changes how your bosses see you, it changes how your family reacts to you. It's a phenomenal thing that you need to do. And Eve is one of the experts here on how to do that. We're going to, we were just talking and I said, Eva needs a speaker reel because she wants to get on more stages. Now I tell her I've got a speaker event coming up in September here in Tampa that puts you on a stage for 15 minutes, lets you speak on your topic, but it gets you that speaker reel. One of the things that they didn't teach anybody when we were growing up was you got to have video recording. You got to
oh
have
yeah.
yourself recorded. Now, even I know we got to record ourselves, but recording ourselves on some stages, I've been on corporate stages and they said, no, you cannot record. Okay, that kind of messes us up. And so we don't get to take little clips. We get to take a photograph, but we don't take video or audio clips of
Correct.
that because it's forbidden on corporate events. But we need those to help us expand because people won't hire you if they don't know you can speak. And that's what we're doing is we're helping other people to grow, right, Eva?
Absolutely. And this is a huge opportunity, and thank you for that. It's right. We don't think about it now. I was so stuck with helping others and thinking, that, oh, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna speak about this and that. I'm gonna show you certain things that you can implement immediately. And then when I ask somebody, oh, did you record it? Nobody recorded, and I'm like, okay, fantastic. You can't even remember what I said.
Well, that's
Or if I
right.
got the recording, it was awful.
Yeah, and the problem comes with some people say, "Well, I recorded it," and they're doing their cell phone thing, and you're 50 to 100 feet away, and they didn't get your audio right, or they didn't zoom in so they could get you on stage. They got this huge stage, and you're that tiny person in the middle.
Oh,
It's
yes.
really, it is really hard to get a professional video that makes you look great, and having all
That's
that in
yes.
place changes your life. So you can take a professional quality video of a few minutes, turn it into a 1 or 2 minute speaker reel with pictures of you on other stages, pictures of you on podcasts, audios of you on podcasts. All that stuff brings it in for a speaker reel, which helps people to hire you. And that's what, as we're talking here, that's what helps people become better professional speakers. Now, if you don't want to be a professional speaker, you still should contact Ewa, because she wants to help you become more confident, become more positive, fill your life with your dreams. And trust me, you take a public speaking course. Warren Buffett said any person who takes a public speaking course increases their self-worth by 50%. 50%, that's a lot of personal growth.
Absolutely.
And so understand that that's where Ewa wants to help you.
I would say even more. Frankly, I've seen people who are very successful already, in the companies, and they hit the wall, where they can't do anything more. Then they learn how to communicate better, because it's not only communicating, doing public speaking, but it's communicating with the teams, selling their business, talking about their business, spreading the
And
word,
managing
because
their
their business
people,
have
right? Managing their people.
exactly, absolutely, talking to and understanding, because communication is both ways, right? To calibrate what the other person needs. How can I understand what is their language they really speak to me? How can I reward them? How can I understand them so my company will be bigger, better? And I heard once Chris Harder saying on his show that good people with good money do great things. And this is what I want to teach people, that if they have the company, they need to grow bigger and better, because they can help much more people. And, Steve, I think that maybe public speaking is very narrow, but communication should be taught at school. And
Yes.
if we had this at schools, there would be no wars, because, with one word, you can cause the fire, you can cause the war with one word. You just, like when you're in the mountains and you scream and the avalanche come,
Oh, yeah,
with
that's a
one
good point.
scream, you can create a thunder of snow coming down, tumbling down, and killing everything on the path with
Yeah,
one note. So our voices have power, have immense power to change, to build, but also to destroy. So learning how to use them better. It's not about finding the voice. We already have the voice. We already have it. We need to train it. It's a bit like, playing the guitar, on one string, and you can just da 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 da. How long can you listen to da 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 da? You're gonna
yeah,
kill me probably in 2 minutes or so, if you can last 2 minutes, right?
that's
Now we
right.
need to we need to learn how to play the whole orchestra. And we've got an orchestra here. We've got orchestra here with gazillion of thoughts. So we need to learn how to harness that. And
That's right.
that's the
So
whole bridge
that's
that
right. So the
we've
question
been
comes
talking
back to,
about.
do you have something to share? Do you have something to say? When we're talking to you as the audience, we want you to have a message. We all have They say there's music inside of us, and some people die with their music stuck inside. But we want you to be able to convey your message, convey your information. I don't care if it's to the local boys or girls club, or I don't care if it's to 10,000 people in an audience. Do you have something worthwhile to share that will help other people in their lives? That's what Eva and I do. We help other people become more than they are currently. That's what our goal is.
Absolutely. We everybody, I come from the belief that everybody has something to share. Doesn't matter who it is. They have something to share. Now, how they share it? Breathe. First is a breath. When you've got a breath in your lungs, in your body, you support it to know what to say next. We are in so much rush. You know, when we speak, we very often are in this tongue mind never ending race, and our tongue will never catch up with the mind that goes like, oh my god, will they judge me? Will they listen to the story? Oh, they're not listening to me. Oh, they're judging me, right? When we take this breath and take the pause just to slow down a little bit, this is when the magic happens, because first of all, we can compose ourselves. We pause. There's no nerves anymore. So pause. Pause is, I'm a musician and I say
I gotta cut you off because I gotta cut you off because we're coming to the end already of our time. But I'll end this with a little thing. Pause. When you watch, and my wife loves to watch reality TV, so she watches The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, all that stuff. And the younger people are like, I really like. When I talk, I like to say like, and boy, it makes you nuts to hear them. But it's because they don't even know how to pause. They don't know how to take a breath. And you'll notice that Eva she's not full of ums and ahs and all that stuff because she knows she can pause rather than saying, and so I'll leave that there because Eva, you got about 30 more seconds when I turn you loose here, but it's been fabulous to have you on. And so what words of wisdom do you have for the people who are listening and want to be better at communication?
You are enough. That is the magic. When you believe that you are enough, you start believing that your story is enough to be shared. And then you start looking for the ways to share that story. And there's plenty of people like you, Steve, who help people to do it, to go and shine. First, believe that you are enough. Put the markers everywhere. Put like little notepads, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. When you believe that,
people tend to poo-poo that. They say, oh, that's just silly, that's just stupid.
No, it's not.
Eva's successful, I'm pretty successful. We have done those kinds of things because sometimes you just need a little help.
Absolutely.
And so as we wrap up this episode of Know, Like, and Trust, I want to say thank you to Eva. Eva, tell us again how we get in touch with you.
Thank you, Steve. You can go to my website, www.speakwithconfidence.me, like Middle East. Then you can contact me via WhatsApp, which is 00971 50108 5257, or simply by sending me an email to hello@speakwithconfidence.me.
How cool is that? And I highly recommend that if you resonated with her today, and you can tell she has great energy, great ability, I want you to reach out to her when this podcast breaks and just say hi. If you have a question for her, certainly approach her with how can she help you or how would you like to be helped? And see if that makes a difference. You've been listening to, and Eva, I'm going to ask you to stay on after I stop the recording. But you've been listening to Know, Like, and Trust. I'm Steve Sapato. You can reach me at steve@stevesapato.com. Obviously, if you're watching, it's right there. You can see it. But SAPATO, steve@stevesapato.com. And we hope that you find a way to follow your dreams and become the person that you really want to be. God bless. I'm Steve Sapato. While you are familiar with storytelling, there's a new approach called storytizing that takes it to the next level. What sets me apart is my ability to teach you how to energize every talk, how to engage every audience, how to involve them, get them interested, asking questions, leaning forward and wanting more from you. I get you the accolades and results you want from every presentation you give. What you get from storytelling is more confidence, more visibility, more opportunities. Imagine you're a salesperson wanting to make $100,000 a year, but suddenly you're making $500,000 a year because you learned one new technique, storytelling, the ultimate training for your success.
Yeah.